Hi, this is Vincent, and welcome to Right of Way, a vlog about traffic, transport, and road safety. Driving through the streets of Metro Manila is like driving through a huge, life-size obstacle course. Motorists have to deal with motorcyclists weaving in and out of traffic, pedestrians who jump out from between two parked cars, or public utility vehicles that swerve hard right to pick up passengers and then swerve back hard left to join the main flow of traffic. One of our viewers, Andrew Francisco, shared with us his dashcam video. Let's take a look at his dashcam video and see what he experienced firsthand. I'm going to ask you to watch the video in real time without hitting pause and without rewinding. I want you to imagine that you are sitting in the car with Andrew, and I want you to observe things around you. Cars, the movement of cars, the movement of vehicles, road signages, pavement markings. At the end of the video, we'll discuss it. We're traveling along Zabel Rojas Street. I'm not too sure if this is in Manila or Makati. And we're approaching the corner of J.P. Rizal Avenue. Andrew will make a right onto J.P. Rizal, and you'll notice the welcome signs for Makati. So we're entering Makati. And this is typical of many streets in Metro Manila. You'll see cars pulling in out of driveways. You'll see pedestrians crossing the middle of the road. And public utility jeeps depositing their passengers in the middle of the road without pulling over. So far it looks pretty ordinary, the short stretch of Andrew's trip, people walking on the streets because there's no sidewalk. But take a look at the markings, the pavement markings. You'll see the double yellow line, which means no one's supposed to cross that. And double yellow lines are supposed to indicate a separation of different directions of traffic. You see here that the jeepney actually makes a right turn, and it has no signal light or brake light for that matter. But Andrew decides to go straight. And again, you see the double yellow lines there. And that's the end of Andrew's video. There, did you see it? Did you see what Andrew missed when he drove by here and what I missed the first time I saw Andrew's dashcam video? It's this, the do not enter sign. Let's take a survey. Please take the poll down below and let us know if yes, you saw the sign when you watched the video, or no, you missed the sign when you watched the video. And let's see how many of you missed what Andrew and I missed. And now, let's analyze that video a little closer. Let's jump to 55 seconds into Andrew's video. You'll notice that on the left, there's a double yellow line separating the directions of traffic. According to the DPWH Road Signs and Pavement Markings Manual, Figure 11.3 says that a double yellow line shouldn't be crossed and that vehicles should stay on the right of this double yellow line. And that's exactly what Andrew is doing. Continuing on, as the jeepney approaches Pasong Tirad, you notice that it slows down to make a right turn. Let's pause right here. Let's take a look at this scene closely. In terms of pavement markings, we see the pedestrian crossings. We see the yellow lines to indicate that the intersection shouldn't be blocked. Further down the road, we see a continuation of the double yellow lines. And remember, double yellow lines mean that vehicles should stay on the right. As far as the pavement markings are concerned, there's nothing on the pavement that indicates that we are now entering a one-way street. What we do see, however, on the left is a do not enter sign. I don't know about you, but I don't usually look to my left on a two-way street for signs that will apply to me. The signs that will apply to me are typically on the right. Let's advance the video a few more frames and pause it again. You notice that as the jeepney clears Andrew's field of vision, the do not enter signs on the right finally become visible. But at this point, Andrew is now upon the intersection. and it's quite possible that a motorist unfamiliar with the area is looking straight ahead. Perhaps his or her attention is focused on the car in the opposite lane, seeing if it might possibly be making a left turn and crossing his or her path. So it's easy to understand why those do not enter signs may have been overlooked by Andrew, and it's reasonable to expect that it may be overlooked by any motorist unfamiliar with the area. Let's look at a photo I took of the area. A motorist has to be aware of so many things around him or her. They have to be aware of all the moving vehicles, the cars, the bicycles, the motorcycles, the tricycles, and many times even the pedestrians who are sometimes walking on the road. When you look at this scene, it's easy to understand how the signs could have been lost in the visual clutter. The no entry sign on the left, as I said, is completely useless, because on a two-way road, a motorist doesn't typically look to the left for signage. A motorist will look to the right for signage because this is the side that's closest to him or her. And look at those signs on the right. Let's take a look at these three signs. The first one says, "This way, Pasong Tirad, Kalayaan Street." That's basically a directional sign, so we don't really care for this particular case. Let's focus on the two other signs. The one on top says no entry, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And the other sign basically says, is a standard no entry sign. The problem with these two signs is that they actually are in conflict. The sign on top says that you can't enter between 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., which means before 6 a.m. and after 9 p.m., you could actually go straight and enter. But that conflicts with the other sign, which is a standard no entry sign. So if you're passing through this area for the first time or you're unfamiliar with the area, and you see those signs, which do you obey? So that's the first problem. The second problem is the state of each of those signs. The one on top looks homemade. It's non-retro reflective. So if you're traveling in this area in the evening and it's dark, you won't see that sign because it's not lit and your headlight won't illuminate it either. The second sign, the more standard sign, is defaced. It's got graffiti on it. I think it's got some paint or stickers on it. You can't even read it except for the standard symbol for no entry. So what should be done? It's obvious. Better signage and pavement markings. Several meters before the intersection, there should be a pavement marking with an arrow indicating the flow of traffic. There should also be a sign to support that. At the intersection itself, it would help if there's a pavement marking there as well, indicating that all traffic must turn right. And then on the opposite side of the road, perhaps a directional arrow, indicating the direction of traffic. Without the improvement in the pavement markings and road signs in this area, it's easy to understand why people like Andrew and other motorists unfamiliar with the area would miss those signs completely. And without the improvement in pavement markings and signage, it's also easy to understand why many motorists consider this a ticket trap. The previous photo is actually a screenshot from Google Maps, and it indicates that the area is an MMDA trap. Well, in fairness to the MMDA, this is beyond their jurisdiction. It's a local road, and therefore jurisdiction belongs to the local government, which in this case is Makati City. I was talking the other day to a motorist who's familiar with the area, and he was telling me that that part of Makati is notorious for the ticket traps. In fact, he was telling me that one day he saw a sign that was manually turned away from the motorist, therefore inviting violation. This is precisely how a ticket trap works. It provides an opportunity for an enforcer to issue a ticket to raise money for the city government, or more nefariously, to extort money from the motorist for his or her own personal gain. If anyone from Makati City Hall is watching this video, I strongly urge you to take a look at this problem. Andrew's experience wasn't an isolated one. It happens many times over, and I hope you can take a look at this problem and address it. This is what I've been saying about signs for a very long time. Signs have to be very clear to the motorist. They cannot be vague or ambiguous, because if they are, they invite violations. And many times, this is why the public perceives these kinds of situations as ticket traps. Signs are meant not to invite violation or to provide ticketing opportunities for enforcers, but to guide motorists so that they can avoid accidents and dangerous situations. I'd like to thank Andrew for sharing with us his experience, and I hope this video will help him make a strong case with Makati City that he shouldn't be issued a ticket. Well, that's it. We're at the end of another episode. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, photos, or videos that you'd like to share with us, you can email us at rightofway@rappler.com or send us a message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at rightofwayph. Until then, this is Vincent, and I'm out of here. Stay away from those ticket traps.